Hello, welcome back to Sheila Bobby Handmade. My name is Caitlin. You can find me on the internet just about anywhere as Sheila Bobby. Hello, welcome to my little corner of the internet where I like to talk about knitting, crochet, yarn, maybe some other crafty endeavors down the road. Today we have socks. We have a lot of socks. I hope you're ready for the socks because we have them. We have quite a few finished objects, including one that I am wearing, and some new cast-ons because it is cast-onitis has happened. Last night I went a little bit crazy and cast on a whole bunch of socks. I say a whole bunch, two socks. That's not a whole bunch, but I have other socks. Anyway, let's get started. Let's get right into finished objects. We are going to start off by talking about what I am wearing. I am wearing the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow, also known as the Cray-Bay here on YouTube and on the internet, such as Instagram. And this is her fingering weight version, which is included in the DK weight version of the Tolsta Tee. My version I have modified, of course, to be long sleeves because the tee should be short sleeve. So I have modified mine to be long sleeve. What I made it out of, and I am going to include some video of me wearing it so that you can see it a little bit better. I made it out of Skan Cocaine in the colorway Iconic, and I got this as a baby grand, which is over 2,000 yards of fingering weight yarn. I believe it's a 75-25. If I am incorrect, I will put that down on the screen here. I don't have the ball band with me, unfortunately, so I don't have that to look at, but it was a giant cake of yarn, and I knit continuously through the yoke of the sweater and then moved on to the arms. Completed the arms by doing a little bit of color management to keep from the pulling being too crazy, and then moved to the body. When I went back to the body of the sweater, I split my remaining cake into two just over 100 gram balls and then knit helical for the rest of the body until I got to the ribbing, and then did the ribbing in one of the balls. I have just under 60 grams, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 70 grams of the yarn left, and I'm going to use that to make my sister a gift later, possibly for Christmas if I have enough time. But yeah, so I knit the size 7 and my gauge is just about right. It did grow a little bit in blocking, but that was kind of expected, and this sweater was intended to be a sweater to throw on while I'm wearing pajamas around the house. It's not meant to be a you know, fancy outside sweater. So yes, there is pooling. Yes, it doesn't look pristine, but I love it. It is nice and soft and cozy, something lightweight, like I said, just to throw on during the winter time if I'm a little bit chilly. I also, if you remember, if you watched any of my previous episodes, I did the cuff and I said that it was tight but not overly tight. And as I knit the rest of the sweater and realized that I wanted it to be kind of a cozy, slouchy, oversized throw-on sweater, that tightness would not work for that. So I did rip out the cuff on both of my sleeves and re-knit them using a little bit more stitches. So I still did the rapid decrease right before the ribbing, but not as rapid. So that is all for that. So yes, totally in love with this, ready to wear it and be cozy. I did notice, just as a side note, I will show you in this area, maybe it'll pick up on camera. It's a little bit of an overcast day today, so it's actually currently raining, so overcast, by that I mean raining, so my colors are going to be a little bit different than normal. But if you can see the specks, while they still look black and white, when I washed it, quite a bit of the black dye did run off, and it did dye the white speckles a little bit to a gray color, but not as noticeable if you didn't know what it looked like before. So not a big deal. So that is my Tulsa tee. The next finished object is, we took my grandma up to Raleigh last weekend to spend some time with her sisters up there. And while I was there, I was knitting because we spent the night, because I'll get to the details later, but we had something to do up there on Saturday. So we spent the night over at my great aunt's house. And while I was sitting there knitting, my 93-year-old great aunt loved the socks that I was making and said, well, those would fit me. And I was like, absolutely, I can make socks that would fit you. And so as a surprise, I have made some socks. So here is one of them. So this is a DK Weight sock by Kay Litton, or the Crazy Sock Lady here on YouTube. And it is made out of the Fiber Seed DK Weight. I think it's Sprout DK is their DK Weight base. And it is 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. US milled, if I'm not mistaken, US milled. I don't know if the actual wool comes from the US, but I know that they say it's US milled. This is the colorway Unicorn Tears, which is absolutely beautiful. She really liked the socks, which will come up here in just a little bit because they were bright. She's not able to see all colors. Her vision is quite dimmed, and so she was able to see those bright colors. So I wanted to make sure that I picked a super bright and happy yarn for her. And the other sock I just have floating around on the floor here, but this is the sock. I did 8 rounds for the cuff, 10 rounds for the leg, the called for slip stitch, heel, flap and gusset, and everything is knit to pattern. This is the, make sure I get this right. Yes, this is the large, so this is the 56 stitches, and I started these on November 4th and finished them on November 7th. So DK Weight socks are a breeze. They go very, very quickly. So those are socks for my great aunt. And then I also made another pair, and these are what I'm calling my flamingo socks. This is also the DK Weight vanilla sock by Kay Litton, or the Crazy Sock Lady. This yarn is also by the Fiber Seed. It is Handsome Like a Flamingo in their DK Weight Sprout DK base. I cast this on November 4th and finished on November 7th. So I have 2 socks. So they are a finished object. Any more details about these? Same deal. 8 rounds for the cuff, 10 rounds for the leg, and then everything else is knit exactly to pattern. So that is my second finished object. I told you we had a lot of socks. So the next finished object, let me get it on a sock blocker here, is socks that you saw in the last episode. And they are my Sun-Kissed socks. These are vanilla. This is not written by any pattern because I have kind of modified a vanilla pattern and made it my own. So no pattern to guide you to, but if you want something similar, I would recommend the vanilla socks by Kay Litton or the Crazy Sock Lady, because that is kind of the basis that I use and then modified it from there. This yarn is by Super Glow Fibers in their sock base in the colorway Sun-Kissed, which is just bright and happy and just like, look at that. Look at the heel. I mean the heel turn. So bright and happy. And I mentioned this in the last episode that when you knit this sock, it kind of muddles the colors, like mutes them a little bit as you knit them. But it is so bright on the skein, and I'll show you that in a minute because it's actually a work in progress. I'm using the rest of the yarn. But these are socks for myself. So these are 68 stitches, which is my preferred stitch count for socks. 20 rounds for the cuff, 10 I think, for 10 or 15 for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, normal wedge toe, all vanilla. but it is so bright and happy, and I am for it. So that is all for finished objects, and now we are going to move into works in progress, which, spoiler alert, it's more socks. I don't know why I am just really into socks right now. So yeah, let's get into the socks that I am currently working on. Alright, so for my first work in progress, I'm going to show you the finished sock on a blocker because it just looks like a tube. These are the Magic Heel socks by Autumn Acorn, and I wanted to test these out at the end of last year, I'm gonna say, and wanted to see if it was a good alternative to not wanting to do the gusset, heel flap, heel turn, all that sort of stuff. If a person wanted to learn how to make socks and weren't super comfortable with doing all of those turns and pickups and slip stitches and things like that, I wanted to see if this was a good alternative to someone to make a sock. And I call it a sock that's not a sock. It's a little bit weird for me. It rides down a little bit, but it is perfectly fine as a sock, as it is intended. So this is a full length sock for me. Typically I do not do full length socks because I have some large calves. So usually I just do ankle socks for myself, but this is a full width calf, full width leg, and works pretty well. And then you can see the heel is basically just ribbing and then just a typical toe. So I have worked on this past 2 weeks. If you have been watching, you know that I walk for work and listen to a podcast, and as it's been cooling down, I feel like I can walk and knit at the same time. I do this at the gym when I go, but I hadn't done it in the wild while I am walking on the street, but it worked out pretty okay. So I worked a little bit on this. Now, I had to move the marker because I needed to keep my count up while I was out there walking. So I don't remember exactly where I was, but if I can guess, I'm going to say somewhere around here is where I was the last time I showed it, which was in my all the whips that I have on the needles right now. So I knit quite a bit, and if you can see right there, I have started on the heel portion of the sock. So this has become one of my active whips. I'm working on this while I walk if the weather permits. If it's too hot, then obviously I don't want to felt a sock while I'm walking, but if it's quite cool, then I've been doing that. Here is the charm. It doesn't want to focus on it. There we go. This is the charm that I'm using. This was on the bouquet that I was in my friend's wedding, and they had this little charm. I took it off and added a clasp to it so I could use it as a knitting charm. This is the yarn, and I apologize I do not have the band, but this is a Yarnable yarn. So I got this in a subscription, I believe in the summer last year, and it is the colorway Mermazing. And I will use just about every bit of this cake of yarn to make these socks. What I use to walk and knit is this Cottontail Farms little bag, and if I am not mistaken, this is used or meant to use for spinning. Like, I don't know, I'm not a full spinner, I just spin on a drop spindle, so please correct me, my spinners down below, let me know what this is used for specifically. But if I'm not mistaken, it's meant to use for spinning, where you can hang this on your spinning wheel and maybe keep your fiber in there when it is not in use. But it fits it's a little tight for 100 gram skein, but anything under, I would say, 70 grams fits perfectly in here, and uses it as a little bag. It has a what are those called? Little clasp. It has a little button clasp, and I have a carabiner on it so that I could clip it to my pants. And yeah, I just clipped it to my pants, walked along with it while knitting, and it has been perfect. It also fits perfectly in a cup holder, which is what I was using it for before. I would stick it in the cup holder of the treadmill. So these bags are perfect. And when I had planned to pick it up when I was at SAF, but they didn't have any of these little bags that I remember at the Cottontail Farm stall. I believe that they are working with another vendor there as well, as like they do in the Fiber Festival that's in Raleigh in March. But I think that they were also at Rhinebeck that weekend, so I think they split their inventory. So I think they didn't have everything there, but this is on my list to get when I go to the Fiber Festival in Raleigh in March, is to grab another one of these just to have on hand to clip on things. So that is my first work in progress. My next one is in this beautiful ghosty bag. Little tote. This is a dollar tote from Target. Me and Mom went to Target last weekend and saw this bag, and of course it was 30% off, so I was like, I want a sock in that. So I have been knitting all of my socks. All of the DK weight socks that you've seen today were made inside of this bag, so it's a handy little tote and I love it. So in here is my what I'm calling my Ellie socks, which Grandma, if you are watching, skip ahead a little bit, tap on the screen on the right side, tap it a couple times to skip past this part so that you don't see your Christmas socks. But these are just the beginning. I literally just cast these on. These are DK weight socks for my grandma for Christmas. Very little to see there, just a couple rounds. I think there's only 3 rounds on there, but I can show you it in the cake because it is beautiful. So this is the colorway Ellie by Nerdy Knits. And I believe that this was inspired by the Little Witch in the Woods video game. I've never seen that one, so I'm not sure, but if I remember correctly, that's the collection that I purchased it from. So this is Nerdy Knits yarn. Here's her label. And the colorway is Ellie. It is 100% superwash merino, but that is perfectly fine. My grandma wears her socks as house socks. I am going to add the little grippy paint on the bottom of these so that she will be able to wear them safely in her house. But yes, so they're not going to be in shoes or anything like that. They're just house socks. So no worries on the 100% superwash. But yes, this is just a start, teeny tiny little start work in progress. But I wanted to share that with you so that you know that it is on my needles. I didn't mention it, but it's the same pattern as before. It is the Crazy Sock Ladies DK Weight Vanilla Sock, which is a free pattern, by the way. So if you haven't grabbed that, go ahead and do that because it is a wonderful pattern. Very simple, very easy to follow, and perfect for DK weight. You can also hold fingering weight double to get a DK weight yarn, and it is a great way to use up some scrappy socks, or scrappy bits for scrappy socks. You know what I meant. Alright, so the next one is in my little ghosty bag by the Fat Squirrel. These are my socks for my friend Rezzy. Rezzy, it is your turn. If you are watching, do not spoil your Christmas socks. I will know. I will know if you watched it. I don't know how I'll know, but I'll know. But these are your Christmas socks. So skip ahead. Skip ahead. Don't spoil them. So I'm going to show you the tag first. So this yarn is by Area 51 Fibers. And it is in the colorway Bacon and Eggs. My friend loves bacon. My friend loves the color red. So when I saw this on her website, I was like, Christmas socks for my friend. I always make him socks for Christmas. So I cast these on last night and got a fair amount done in the hour-ish that I had. So I have done the cuff, and the mini that I'm using is just a random mini from my local yarn shop. So I don't know the base, I don't know the dyer, it's just a little red mini. So I did a cuff and then I started in on the leg. This is a self-striping yarn. So here it is in the cake. So it'll go through whites, yellow, reds, brown, so bacon and eggs. But yes, I'm very excited to get these now done. I have ordered 2 balls because they are 50-gram cakes or 50-gram skeins, and I do a little bit of a larger sock for, I think it's because of my gauge. Like, I've heard people say that adult socks, they never have to use anything other than 72 stitch stock, 64? Yeah, 64 stitch socks. But I have to vary mine. I personally need 68 stitches, and I have quite wide feet. My mom, my sister, all of them, I do 64 stitches. My grandma, I do 72 stitches. And then my dad and my friend Rezi, who are men, I have to do a special stitch count. I either have to do 78 stitches, which is a lot of stitches to do for a sock, and modify a pattern for them. Or what I have been doing, what I'm doing currently, is I'm using US 1.5s, so 2.5 millimeter needles, and doing a 72 stitch count, and that gives a nice solid sock for them, but prevents me from having to do 78 stitches. So anyway, I ordered 2 cakes of yarn because I don't know if 1 cake would get me 2 socks, which normally it would. I am using a mini, but anything that is left over I'm going to use to make my nephew socks for Christmas, because he also loves him some bacon. So anyway, that is the yarn. It is on its way. I will keep you updated, but this will probably be done pretty quick because I'm excited to do the self-striping yarn. Self-striping yarn always goes so quick for me. Sorry about all of the ends, but I did want to show you, let's see, that is facing the right way. The Progress Keeper that I am using is by Oh That's Neat, and I will link her shop below. Her shop is not Progress Keepers, it is earrings and jewelry. However, these double as Progress Keepers. She always has these beautiful, they're circular clasps, very high quality, and she has these adorable, these are Christmas cookies. And so I have the snowman ones and I have the Christmas tree ones, and my mom uses them as earrings during Christmas, but I also love to use them as Progress Keepers, and they are quite affordable. You get 2 Progress Keepers in one, so check her out. They're very beautiful, high quality products. So that is my Rezi socks. The last work in progress that I have is in my Black Pearl Magic bag, so you can see my sock that's in there, and it is in my little sock bag. Tiffany, these are yours. They might be for Christmas, they might be for now, we'll see how it goes. But this is using the leftovers from my finished object from the Super Glow Fibers. So here's that in the cake. Did I say that right? Here's that in the cake. Yeah, sorry. And you can see the difference in that. It is going to blow out quite a lot because it is so bright. But that is it knit up in a fabric and it on the cake. So you can see the brightness there. But I had just under 50 grams left of this, so I'm making my sister some socks. As I talked about last time, I'm going to use this bright blue mini for probably cuffs and heel. I'll probably do cuff and heel because I like how the toe looks on these. So I'll probably do cuff and heel to contrast it and make that yarn go a little bit farther. My charm on this is still my little Halloween pumpkin that I was using before, and the mini is just a random mini. I don't remember if this is a mini from my local yarn shop or just one that I picked up somewhere, but that is the contrast color that I'm going to use for cuff and heels. But that is, I think that's all. That's my last sock. So lots of work in progress on socks. It is Christmas season and we, lifey stuff we'll talk about later, but I was very inspired to cast on all of the Christmas things and get those on. So I will be working away on Christmas gifts and getting those out and wrapped up, and yay, I love Christmas time, so I'm excited. So that is all of the works in progress. Let's talk about acquisitions. Not too many acquisitions. I'm gonna have to start slowing down on my acquisitions, but the first thing that I do want to show is my Yarnable subscription. So if you haven't opened up your Yarnable subscription for November, you may want to skip ahead if you haven't and don't want to be spoiled. But if you do want to see, this is what I got in my Yarnable subscription. Of course, Yarnable is a subscription-based service that sends you a skein of yarn and a whole bunch of extra goodies every month. It is absolutely fabulous. I'm going on past 2 years is subscribed to them, so it is great. I've always loved the extras that go to. I've always loved the extras that come with them. Even if it's not something that I will personally use, I can pass it on to someone that will, and so they never go to waste. So this month I opened up the package. It smelled so good, so good. So I was very excited to see what was in there. So if you haven't seen what's in the box, look away now, because I'm going to start going through the extras. So the first thing is Little House on the Homestead. This is a farm-made hand soap and cinnamon spice. Let's see if I can get that to focus. And it smells so good. Like, it is pumpkin-y, but cinnamony, and it is fabulous. So that came with my yarn, and this will likely go to my grandma because she loves little hand soaps and things like this, little artesian hand soaps. So that'll probably pass on to my grandma. The other thing that was in there is this cinnamon swirl candle, and the top of this got a little beat up by the soap in the little package that it was in, so it's a little bit beat up, but it is the cinnamon swirl. It is a candle by Angela Rose Studios. It says it's notes of vanilla, cinnamon, and sugar. It is a 2.6 ounce candle, and it smells so good. So that will most likely, in fact, I'm gonna set it on my desk, and that'll likely be lit while I am working this winter or this fall. I guess it's still fall. It's winter to me, but it's fall technically. There's also 2 little tags in here from Fox and Pine Stitches, a little sheep, and then this one says made with love. So little tags that you can apply to things. And then their extras have started coming in these little zippy bags, which are great pencil holders. I gave my nephew quite a few of these, and he keeps his, what are those things called? Nerf bullets, the little foam bullets. He keeps them in there, and he can attach them to his belt. That's what he wanted those for. So that is the extras. And the yarn is called Sinful Delight. And I get the fingering weight plush sock, which is $85.15. And this month is just a beautiful cream brown color with speckles of a darker brown, some green, red. Beautiful. If you want to see this knit up, Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady already started her socks and is doing them in one of her patterns, and it is beautiful. So go check that out on her Instagram, or on her most recent video. I think she's added those. But that is the yarn that came in the Yarnable subscription. The next bit of acquisitions is part of my Lifey stuff as well. A friend of mine opened up a yarn shop in North Raleigh. It's called Oak City Fibers. And so he had his opening day, and I wanted to run over there and support him, see what he had in his shop. So picked up a couple things from there. So the first thing is this beautiful project bag, which is 100% wax canvas. Has beautiful pockets, roomy pockets, zips, leather handles, amazing drawstring bag. This is, I do not know how to pronounce the name of this company. Manger? That is the logo, but it will soon house a project. I'm going to move over one of my current whips into this bag now that I have shown it to you guys. But picked up this beautiful project bag. Also, of course, some yarns. So he had Leading Men Fiber Arts. And this green just called out to me. It is in their Showstopper base. The colorway is kind of a big dill. Like a pickle. And it is just a super bright green with some light speckling. It's mostly just a solid green with a little bit of darker green specklings. The next one that I picked up is he is carrying Ruby and Roses, which right now is one of my favorites to knit with. Besides Long Dog yarn, of course. But one of my favorites to knit with because her colors are so bright and beautiful, so rich. And this is the colorway Calliope. I think that's how you would say that. This is on her soft rose base, which is 8515, and is just a pink color, which normally I don't draw too much to pink. This was a pink with orange. There's some blue speckles, some purpley speckles in there. It just seemed like a thing that needed to become socks. So this will be socks in the near future. So picked up that. And then a local North Carolina dyer made him a colorway called Oak City Fibers. So it is a store colorway. It is purple and orange. This is 7525 base and is by the Wicked Stitch. So picked up one of those to make some socks as well. And he also had, for his grand opening, Ruby and Roses provided some minis to give away for a set number of first purchases. So did pick up one of those. It is very similar. I was telling my mom that it's very similar in colors, just maybe a little bit darker in tone, but still has the same pinks and yellows and greens and blues. So those are all the acquisitions that I picked up within the past 2 weeks. Oh, I did want to talk about, I do have the Explorer Knits and Fibers Winter Solstice boxes, which is the Icelandic boxes that she released. I got those in the mail yesterday, and so I have the full day box with the goodies. So the day of summer solstice, I have a sock set and a mug and coffee is the goodies that I selected. So I got that box, and then I also got the 8 skein box that has tonals and variegated 4 of each, and you open those. I had to keep looking it up. I think it starts on the 23rd of November is when you start to open them up, and I would open up 2 every week until the actual day of solstice. Now, I am not going to lie to you. I have opened some of them. I could not wait. I did open the day of box, but I will not show you those until solstice actually happens. So it is hanging up on my wall. It is beautiful, but I will not spoil it for anyone. So I'll show you those later. And then I did take a look at the box that has the 8 skeins of yarn in them. I was looking it up, and it said that you could open 2 every week after the 23rd, but I couldn't wait. So I opened the first box because I have 0 self-control. So I did open the first one, and it is also beautiful, but again, I will not spoil it for you guys, so no worries there. But did want to let you know that I have received that, and that my opening schedule is a little bit different than what is recommended, but will not spoil it for you guys until it is time, but I will show it to you when the time is appropriate. Let's get into lifey stuff. So we talked about my sock that I have been walking and knitting, so I am still keeping up with my walking for work. Really enjoying that. It is a great break to the day. Now, we did have time change this past weekend, and so my times for walking has changed slightly, but that kind of gives me a little bit of a break to kind of finish up the day. I go out for my walk, and then I have like an hour-ish when I get back and can finish out my day. I am still listening to Build while I'm walking, and it has become a very fantastic book. I'm kind of sad that I am getting near the end of it, but it is following the story of a guy, I can't remember his name. It's on the cover. It's on the cover. But it's following the advice of the guy that built the iPhone and Nest, the thermostats and that sort of stuff, and just giving business advice, giving how he thinks that business should be done, startups should be done, how companies should work, and it's an interesting book. So enjoying that. Walking, I think I worked on my sock 2 times, so I did about 20 or 30 rounds while I was walking for about an hour, so that's pretty good, not terrible. And I also walk faster when I'm knitting. I don't know what that is. I'm not counting, so I don't think it's like, you know, keeping in rhythm with the counting. I don't know if maybe my brain is just processing the audiobook, and so my body moves faster. I don't know, but knitting makes me walk faster apparently. So I've been doing that, and then yesterday was a holiday here in the US. Well, technically the holiday is today, which is Veterans Day, but in lieu of, since it's on the weekend, I had yesterday off. Me and Mom went to Walmart, and I picked up some new Christmas lights for the shed and some new clings. So hung those up and starting to transfer into Christmas. We also really wanted to put up our Christmas tree. So it is now up in the living room, and it just makes me so happy. I love Christmas time. The Christmas season is my favorite. And if anyone is worried about Thanksgiving, do not worry. Thanksgiving is not forgotten. It is included in the Christmas season. So we do not forget about Thanksgiving. We just include it in the Christmas season, which should last as long as you need to have the joy of the Christmas season and just the joy of it all. So we've started to put up Christmas. It made me really, really want to start up some Christmas projects. So that's why these socks got cast on last night and have been working on. And I am excited to get more Christmas things. I started running through the list of things that I want to make for Christmas. It's like I can't cast on 10 projects in one night. No. Keep it to 2 socks, finish those, and then we'll talk about some more. So you'll be seeing a lot of Christmas projects in the next couple of weeks. So it is officially November. It is November 11th where I am recording right now. You'll probably see this a couple days after, but it is officially November, and I have made a decision to do Vlogmas. Now, I am new to recording. I am new to vlogging, and so I don't know exactly what that will look like, but I have decided that I do want to do Vlogmas. I have some advent calendars and like the solstice box and all that sort of thing, and I want to share that with you guys and spend the Christmas holiday and Christmas season with you guys as well. So I will be doing Vlogmas. Like I said, I don't know how that will look. I know it will not be a daily vlog because that's just not feasible for my life. I have a pretty boring life. I work, I knit, I eat, I sleep. So not too much exciting things happen in my life to be doing a daily vlog. However, I may do, you know, record up to a certain amount of time and then edit that vlog and put it out. So there will at least be 4 vlogs that will come out during Vlogmas, but there may be more if I have some more footage to put in there. I know that I have quite a bit of time off before Christmas, and we always do wrapping and going shopping and putting up Christmas things and going Christmas lights looking. So lots of things that I can include along with Advents and things like that. So we'll be doing that, and I'll give some more details probably in the next video. I'll give details on like what Advents I have, and hopefully they all come in, because I'm really nervous that they won't come in time, but hopefully they will. If not, then I did get Charlie, my little bun. I did get her a Advent calendar, so we'll at least have hers to open if none else come in. But yes, that is all from me today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you got a lot done on whatever project you were working on. Let me know what you're working on down below. If you're working on Christmas gifts or working on a sweater, what are you working on? Let me know. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.